Dave knows how.
Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to do a little bit of tractor maintenance, I guess. My tractor just hit 800 hours, a little over 800 hours, and I've gone and picked up all the stuff to do the tractor maintenance, which is a lot of stuff. And I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to address the radiator, because honestly, when it comes to tractor maintenance, the radiator is probably the most neglected point of the tractor as far as maintenance goes. According to the workshop manual and the homeowner's manual for this tractor, you're supposed to change and flush the radiator fluid every 2 years. And I've had this tractor for way longer than 2 years and never done it. And the previous owner probably never did it either. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to go ahead and flush it. I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I've neglected the coolant in this tractor for as long as I have, but well, we're going to catch up on it today and see what we can do. So if we come on around here to this side of the tractor on this Kubota L2800, we've located the drain plug in the radiator, and we're gonna take that loose. I think it's 12 millimeter. I'm gonna put 12 millimeter on there and see if we can drain this thing. We got a drain pan down here to catch it, so we're not letting it run on the ground. And there it goes. So we don't have the cap all the way off yet, but we've got it broke loose anyway. What matter, Daisy? My old gun shooting got you worried. You don't have to worry. Come here. So I think the next thing we're going to do is, I had bought, I don't even know how many years ago, a block heater to go in this tractor, and I've never put it in because I knew I was going to have to drain the antifreeze out of it, and I knew I'd want to flush the system. And I just, every time I thought of it, it was too cold of weather to do that. So since here it is September, it's not quite too cold to do it yet here in Virginia. We're gonna flush it and install that next. So let me get a couple things together and we'll get ready to install this block heater. All right, so the way this thing works is there's a sleeve that goes in there that holds this heater in place, and that sleeve has to be put in where the freeze plug is at. So we gotta knock the freeze plug out. I'm not sure how difficult that's gonna be. I know I don't want to knock the freeze plug in there and drop it in the bottom of the engine. I know that much. And there it goes. And it looks like it does have more antifreeze in there. So we're gonna let that drain. Alright. So now I got the two opposite ends bent. I'm gonna see if I can't pull this out. And it's coming out now. So hopefully you've seen what I did. You know, this flat piece right here, that's a void right there. That's not a void right there, it's solid. So this thing can't fall down. And I just stuck this screwdriver up there, twisted it, and that put that indentation. And then I rotated it around, stuck a screwdriver up again, twisted it, that dented that down. Then I got in there with these forceps and grabbed it and pulled it on out. I'm not sure if all that showed up on the camera or not, but I don't know. So I want to get up here in the camera a little closer to this camera. So I used the forceps to grab this thing in there and rotate it around. And the bottom part was solid, so it wouldn't go down, but the top part was hollow, so it would go up. So I let it go till it hit the bottom, and then I took this screwdriver, stuck it up in there, and then twisted it to dent this down. Then I rotated the cup around, stuck a screwdriver back up in the top again, twisted it, and that bent that down. Then I just rotated it, took this off, and lightly grabbed it and got a hold to it like that, and then it came right on out. So it was pretty easy once I collapsed the sides in like that. It came out fairly easy. But I was getting worried. I don't mind telling you, I was getting worried. Alright, so all of that is out now. The next thing we got to do is we got to put the sleeve in there. Here's the sleeve. We got to get this driven up in there. This is what the heater mounts into. So let's see. Let's get something and measure how deep this is, because I don't want to hit up inside of there. That is the cylinder for the piston, and I don't want to hit that. So I want to measure and see how deep that is. Let me get something and measure it. All right. So I just got a pair of calipers. We're just going to measure up in there and see just how deep this thing is. So right there we're at 9345, and one inch at the top, 1 inch at the side, 1 inch at that side. So it looks like 9315. Looks like that is the shallowest. And if I measure this thing, it looks like even if I drove it all the way in there till it stopped, it's not going to get to this cylinder head to the cylinder wall. Yeah, because this right here measures a little over ½ an inch. Okay, so we're gonna clean that up with some acetone. I'll clean this piece up. With some acetone, and we're going to clean up right inside where this freeze plug came out with some acetone. Get that antifreeze out of there. Okay. And then we're going to use this. I cut this piece of Delrin and they're on a lathe, and it's going to fit down in here where the threads are at. And then we're going to put something against here and try to drive this up in there. Also got some Permatex Superior Water Glycol Resistant Non-Corrosive Sensor Safe Water Pump and Thermostat Housing Gasket Maker. So this is what I'm going to put on here, and we're just going to put a little bit around this outer edge where it goes up in there to seal it. We got to get something to put against here and a hammer so we can drive it up on there. So let's find something we can beat on. Alright, so we've got a big chunk of brass. We've got a ball peen hammer. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this RTV, whatever it is, Permatex. I'm gonna put some of this on here. Good enough. Get it started. I'm going to put this plug in here like that. And we're going to put this against it like that. And then we're going to hit it with this hammer. Okay. Looks like it's going. add some more. $1985. 1973. I think that's good. I think that's good right there. I think we're about a 1/4 inch up in there. And that should be plenty good. Yep. Feels good. Give it the finger test. It feels pretty good. All right, let's go in there and get the heater and screw it in place. All right, so we got a block heater. We got some Teflon tape. I'm gonna show you how I put this Teflon tape on here. So we hold this block here out in front of us. We'll hold it in our right hand because we know it screws in like that. And then we're going to take our Teflon tape. We can find the end of it. Get to a good clean piece. Ain't got a bunch of gunk in it. Okay, we're going to set this like this. We're going to put this piece of Teflon on the top, and then we're going to screw it on to the Teflon. Screw it on to the Teflon. That's the direction we want to wrap this in. So you can see we got the Teflon on the top. We're screwing it on. And screwing it on. And we're not pulling it super tight, but we are holding some pressure on it. And then after we get about 2 wraps around the very end, we're going to start coming back this way with it. And go around. 2 wraps will be good. And then stretch it and break it. And now we can just screw it right on in there and it should seal. Take it right down in there. And there we go. Alright, and we're just going to tighten this on up. I'm going to try to, we ain't got to tighten it super duper tight, because this is a tapered thread. But we do need to get it tight enough that it's not going to leak and it's not going to back out. Alright, I'm going to see if I can find a big socket that will fit on there. Not that one. It'll be a lot bigger than that. I'll find a big socket to fit that and snug it up a little bit. That's gotta be it. All right, so we got the water in there, some distilled water, brought it up to temperature, and let it run through that cycle. Now we're going to drain that out, and then we're going to put some fresh antifreeze in here. We'll just pull the plug at the bottom of here. Pull the cap off the radiator. It's a little warm, but it's pretty cooled off. All right, so pulling out the, ooh, that is still kind of hot. Pulling out the block heater. And we'll take the Teflon off of it. Put some fresh Teflon tape on here. So now I know we got all the distilled water out of the block. I'm gonna screw this back in. All right, I'd say she's drained pretty good now. Go ahead and stick the plug back in the radiator. Hey, Daisy girl. Okay, got the plug back in there. I'm gonna take some brake clean and we're gonna spray off all around that and around this radiator drain. Now we can get the antifreeze and start putting that back in there. Okay. All right, so we got some in the reservoir. We got some in the radiator. I'm gonna start it up and see if the level goes down. Okay. All Alright, you put the cap on it. And now we're just going to let it warm up. Bring it up to temperature, and then check the level in the reservoir and see where it's at. And then after it cools down, we'll pop the top on the radiator and see what it looks like in there. See what the level is in there, if it's still full or low or whatever. Okay, so we've ran this thing with some brush clean antifreeze in it. We've got the wire ran for the block heater right up here to the front. And for right now, I'm just tugging it down in here out of the way. Once we put the shroud and everything back on here, this will be able to just come right out the side in between the bottom shroud and this top shroud, and it should be fine like that. And we tied the wire up to this group of wires that are the factory wires. So when we put the side cover back on, this will mount to the side cover and hold it away from the exhaust. This is the factory wiring here. They've got it this close to the exhaust, and it's hadn't been a problem, so it shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, so far it doesn't look like we have any leaks or anything like that. Like I said, I put brush antifreeze in it, started up last night, ran it for about maybe 15-20 minutes. Made sure I had plenty in the reservoir. Actually put it up past the full mark on the reservoir, and then shut the tractor off and let it cool down on its own. And when I came out here this morning, the reservoir level had gone way down, so the engine did suck antifreeze back into it like it's supposed to. I probably will pop the top on the radiator and see, you know, if I can see coolant there, and I can. I popped the top and it actually shot out a little bit, so I know there's plenty in there. The tractor's not hot. It hasn't been running, so it shouldn't be under too much pressure, but there was a little bit of pressure in there. So anyway, over the next couple of hours of running the tractor, I'll keep an eye on the radiator, the coolant container up underneath the hood, the reservoir. I'll keep an eye on that, and I'm also going to keep an eye over here where I installed the block heater to make sure that doesn't develop a leak or anything like that. But so far, it doesn't look like I've got any leaks, and everything went pretty good, pretty smooth, I guess, all things considered. I'm happy with how it turned out. And I guess after this, we'll get on to the rest of the maintenance on this tractor. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.